We know that if we have too much dirt on the body, it would fill up all the skin pores, and then finally it give you bad health. You can't stand it. But if you have those garbage in your mind, don't you think that you need a time to wash them off? Or don't really care? The choice is up to you. The choice is really up to you. How many people really do care? No, until they really have problems. When they have problems, they just express it with their own emotion. They never feel happy. They're frustrated. They're torturing themselves, and they don't even know about it. And this is the time to change. But you need that persistence. You need to do it at least every Saturday morning, rain or shine. Rightly, every Saturday morning, rain or shine, we come here and it helps. But Buddhism is not just meditation, It's one of the techniques to understand the teaching of the Buddha. And it takes time. It takes time to change yourself. It's now the time. You've been going to school, you've got this society education, you have your work, you have all this, everybody has a different background behind you. And because of the background, because of education, your personality, the personalities of the people surrounding you, all this molds yourself into what you are today. We don't know who you are. We don't know what kind of suffering you have to go through, what kind of happiness you have. But we all know that finally there is aging, sickness, death, suffering arising from departure of loved ones, suffering arising from living with hated ones, suffering arising from interaction between you and your family members and all those members of the society and all those colleagues at work, suffering arising from failures of your businesses, or you name them. Let's deal with them bit by bit. Suffering arising from sickness. You got the sickness and you don't know what to do. Don't you know that meditation is another cure for sickness? Your mind affects the body. What is preceding that body that you have? What is the thing that precedes the arrival of your body? That fetus in your mom's womb, how does it come about first, in the first place? Before that little embryo is born, that is the consciousness that got into the body first, in your mom's body. The fetus, that embryo, that you, that little tiny little you, it does not come with material, How can material enter your mom's body? The energy gets in there, the consciousness. So what comes into your mom's body that forms you comes from nothing. Comes from something that you can't see, you can't feel, you can't touch. So the thing that you can't see, you can't feel, you can't touch, that consciousness, that energy is you, and that's the predominant part of your body and mind. And later it forms your body and your mind. And once you get out to the world, that fetus is cut off by the doctor. Your first cry into the world when you were born, you were cut off. That kind of consciousness was blocked off. In meditation, you revive that consciousness. If that consciousness works, your health, you become more healthy because you get blocked off at birth. Too much to talk about that kind of thing. We should be talking about the Noble Eightfold Path today. But we should be talking more about how meditation affects the body, how it affects the organs. It's all written in sutras, how it affects your kidney, your spleen, your liver, and your blood, and all that. Meditation affects so much because meditation purifies the mind, purifies the consciousness. It purifies the you before you become that body. Some people call it the soul, but it does not matter what name you attach to it. We have to study it. And some people call it the spirituality of you, the divine connection between you and something. I don't know what the name of that thing. But anyway, that's beside what we're talking today. My point is, you have to do it at least once every Saturday. Even if you do it at home, you don't have that group vibration. So it's advisable to make it a point that you do it every Saturday. It's good for you. Anyway, let's get back to what we should be talking about today. We've been spending a lot of series of Dharma talk on the Four Noble Truths, the very basic concept of philosophical concept of Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths. And now we're touching on the Eightfold Path. What are the Four Noble Truths? The Four Noble Truths, let's just very briefly mention it. We already have dealt with it in detail. Suffering. The first Noble Truth is suffering of the world. The second is causes of suffering. We find out the causes of suffering. Third, we know that these sufferings can be stopped. We call it the cessation of suffering. Fourth, method leading to the cessation of suffering. What are the methods involved? So that's actually a diagnosis of the sickness. You find out, you know that it's a suffering. You find out the causes of it. You know that sufferings can be stopped. And we want to introduce the method to stop it. Now, we already have talked about it. And now we touch on the last part, the methods to stop it. The method to stop suffering. And one of the methods to stop suffering is thorough understanding of the Noble Eightfold Path. Not just understanding it, practicing it. The Noble Eightfold Path. What are these Eightfold Paths? Right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right efforts, right mindfulness, and right concentration. These are the 8 factors, mental factors that contribute to your spiritual path, to the richness of your spiritual path. And consider from the perspective of practice, not just of theory, the Eightfold Path can be categorized into 3 sections of the Buddhist teaching. What are these 3 sections? In the Chinese language, we call it Jie, Ding, Hui. Jie is morality. The first section is morality. In the Sanskrit language is Sila. The second is concentration. In the Sanskrit language is Samadhi. The third is wisdom. In the Sanskrit language is Prajna. So in other words, if you really want to understand the Buddhist teaching, what are the general outlines? If we generalize it, it's difficult to generalize. So you really have to understand morality, concentration, and wisdom. And we're trying to put the Eightfold Path, the Noble Eightfold Path, categorize them under these 3 columns. How do we categorize it? Morality includes what? Morality means training the moral discipline. It includes right speech, right action, and right livelihood. before you follow the Buddha's teaching, you really have to know what is right and what is wrong. If you're meditating here every day and you don't know what is right and what is wrong, you're contradicting yourself in the meditation. In other words, everything you do must be supported by morality. If you don't even know what is right or wrong, how can you follow the Buddha's way? So, we all have to maintain a high standard of morality. So you really have to. So the Eightfold Path says you need the right speech. So what is in the right speech? We'll talk about it in detail. Right action. What is right action? We'll talk about it in detail. What is right livelihood? So morality is the first column. It has to be supported by morality. Then it comes the second column, concentration. Concentration means training the consciousness to develop insight, which includes right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. And every one of those factors we'll talk in detail. So concentration is necessary. It is training the consciousness. In other words, it's training your mind, trying to understand your mind, your own mind. Psychology is to understand generally everybody's mind. But in this concentration, you understand your own mind. And then wisdom means training the consciousness from developing insight. You already have developed the insight in concentration, but you further trained it into insight to the penetration of ultimate reality. That's a little bit difficult to understand. You're trying to penetrate into the understanding of the ultimate reality, to understand everything as they really are and not as what they appear to be. Or we can say the highest wisdom, the Bodhi, B-O-D-H-I. Buddha, the word Buddha derives from Bodhi. What is Bodhi? Understanding, enlightenment. Or another word for it, the Sanskrit word is Anuttara Samya Sambuddhi, which means the highest, the equal, unsurpassed enlightenment and wisdom, which includes what? As far as the Eightfold Path is concerned, right understanding and right intention. So, you know that morality, concentration, and wisdom, you know that what is Buddhism? Beginners would ask. Morality, concentration, and wisdom. Nothing to do with a creator. Nothing to do with blind faith. Nothing to do with superstition. Nothing to do with getting blessings, prostrations, prayers. Not all that. It's about morality, about concentration of your own mind, about studying your own mind, about reviewing the wisdom you have in your mind. It's about yourself. Isn't that logical? Studying yourself. By studying yourself, you also study others. You study others at the same time. So we have already spent some time in the right understanding. Now we have to carry on. Right understanding includes two perspectives to it. The first one is the mundane right understanding, and the second one is the supramundane right understanding. What is mundane? Mundane means the world. It pertains to the world. The mundane view deals with what should be done, what you should do in the world that we're living in regarding morality, concentration, and wisdom. Right understanding, same as right view. Right view of what? Right view of our actions, of our speech, of our thoughts. And in order to understand the right understanding, you really have to understand what is karma, what is causality. And we already have explained karma in detail. It's a very important concept, very, very logical concept. You reap what you sowed. For every result, there's cause. You're lazy, you won't pass the examination. You study hard, you'll pass the examination. And of course, there's a lot of contribution factors to it. You study very hard, you attend every lecture, you get all the notes down and everything, you do all what you can do for the course, and if you write the examination, you pass with flying colors. But of course, there's other contributing factors to it. Even if you've done all the thing, if you got sick on that day, you can't write the examination because of your sickness. That's the contributing factors. So in between cause and effect, there's always contributing factors to it. I try my best to improve, but still I fail. It's because the contributing factors have not matured yet. So we have to nurture contributing factors too. In other words, a baby is born, he becomes a teenager. You really have to give him or her the education. You're the mom and dad. You nurture that baby, education, background, all that, and become a good citizen. So we need all these conditions to put together. So between cause and effect, there's conditions, contributing factors. You're going to nurture those factors. Given that you have the nurturing of factors, good cause, good effect will ripen. Good effects will come out. On the other hand, bad cause will give bad effects. So, how does that help us in daily life? If everybody knows karma, everybody will be successful in what he's doing. Everybody will resolve problems because we know that wholesome cause will bring wholesome result, unwholesome cause will bring unwholesome result. Then you will stay away from bad deeds and do good deeds. So some people ask, what is Buddhism? It can be as simple as the following lines. Buddhism is to stay away from bad deeds, do good deeds, purify your mind, and that's Buddhism. There's no such thing as God in there, Creator in there, no. Stay away from bad deeds, do good deeds. Of course, this is generalization. The God is in you, right there. There is. There's a name, whatever name you want to call it. The Buddha is in you. The God is in you. Did you find it? You don't have to find it. It's already there. Everybody in Alberta is looking for oil. They say, I found oil. No, even before you find it, it's already there. The oil is always underground. It does not matter whether you find it or not. It's a misnomer, it's a misname to call it, I found the oil. No, it's already there. You extracted it by using other means. And now what we've been doing is we use meditation to extract that oil of spirituality, that oil of holiness, that oil of divinity. Are you interested in extracting that oil? Or you don't really care? A lot of people don't care. Even if you don't care, you still live like that. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, work. Every day doing the same thing. You lose your spirituality. You lose your real self. You enhance your ego. You enhance your selfishness. You enhance your problem. You're torturing yourself. Until one day, ocean view. You know what is ocean view? That's the final rest. Don't laugh. We only get worried when we get to that stage. When we're healthy, we think that that stage is too far off. I'm still okay, I'm still walking. You don't know the value of your limbs until you can walk. You don't know the values of your eyesight until you lose them, lose your eyes. You don't value what you've got. You don't know the value of air until you breathe it. You see, in meditation, we just said the in and out breath, the in and out breath. Why? When you're meditating and you are visualizing your molecule inside, feeling the air in and out, what is the meaning of that? That visualization gives you the vitality of life. It makes you understand the vitality of life. What is life? That breath, the in and out breath. You take that breath for granted because it's free. If BC starts to charge for air, give you the bill every month, you worry about it. It is $150 for every cubic inch of air. Then you start to worry about it because it's free. Anyway, get back to the karma. Otherwise, I'll be talking right understanding for the rest of my life. So right understanding, right view, right actions, and right speech. There's wholesome karma and unwholesome karma. Unwholesome karma is action that is morally detrimental to spiritual development and conducive to suffering for yourself and for others. Wholesome karma, on the other hand, is action that is morally helpful to spiritual growth and productive of benefits for yourself and for others. And of course, what is morality? Morality itself is an ambiguous term, but we already have defined it. Anything that is hurting others, that is evil, that is harmful, would be lack of morality. So we don't want to spend the time in discussing the definition of morality. Innumerable instances of wholesome and unwholesome karma can be cited for explanation, but the Buddha selects 10 of each as primary ones, because this, for action, speech, and thinking, there's so many, innumerable. The Buddha cite 10 for explanation. These he calls the 10 courses of unwholesome and wholesome action. Among the 10, 3 are bodily, 4 are verbal, and 3 are mental. What are these? What are the first 3? The bodily courses of action: destroying life or killing, taking what is not given, or stealing, wrong conduct in regard to sense pleasures or sexual misconduct. These are the bodily actions that brings a lot of karma. And how about the 4 verbal? The 4 verbals are lying, slandering, cursing, and double tongue, tale-telling. What are the 3 pertaining to the mind? Greediness, anger, and ignorance. And this is just to generalize it, because so many instances of actions and verbal actions and thoughts and bodily actions. The natural law of karma holds that unwholesome actions ripen in suffering, wholesome actions ripen in happiness. The ripening need not come right away. It need not come in the present life at all. Karma can operate across the succession of lifetimes. It can even remain dormant for innumerable lifetimes in the future. The mundane right actions cause for an understanding of karma. In right understanding, you have to know what karma is. Stay away from bad deeds because you get karma for it. You can't get away with it. You do something extremely selfish, you hurt someone, nobody knows about it, karma knows about it. You can't get away. And why are people's destinies different? Some people were born rich, born poor. It's all karma. Previous life's karma. Anyway, the right understanding also have another perspective. It is called the supramundane. Supramundane perspective. The supramundane, the mundane view by itself does not lead to liberation. In other words, you know karma, you know wholesome and unwholesome deeds, you stay away from bad deeds, you only do good deeds, and that's all pertaining to the world. You want to do good deeds, why? Because you want to be happy. So you attach to good deeds, you attach to happiness. So all this is still with the world. You want to be better. If you believe in reincarnations, you think that, in this life, if I do good, I'll reincarnate into celestial beings in heaven, or in my next life, I will be rich, I will be healthy, I will be happy. That's all due with greediness. You just want to better yourself. It pertains to the mundane view of life. The Buddha said, you have to transcend that kind of thinking. That is called the supra-mundane. Supra means above. You have to transcend the mundane view. Because the mundane view does not get you away from reincarnation. You're still in samsara existence. You're still living up to this life, another life. You always carry that karmic force, karmic energy with you, and reincarnate in the ocean of life and death. That's not enough. You still can't get away from life and death. Even though you all do good deeds, then in your next life will be all good. You'll be rich, you'll be healthy, you'll be handsome, you'll be beautiful. You got all the good things, but you still subject yourself to aging, sickness, death, and all that. So that's mundane view. That's not complete. You are still not out from liberation. So the supramundane view takes a step further to liberate oneself from the entire circle of birth and rebirth, which we call the samsara existence. You get away from samsara existence. The supramundane view leading to such liberation is the insightful understanding of the Four Noble Truths. The Buddha says, what is the right view? It is the understanding of suffering, the origin of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and understanding the way leading to the cessation of suffering. So in other words, the supramundane view calls for transcending life and death, transcends, go beyond existence. Then we ask ourselves, how do we transcend life and death? Our karmic force carry us in every life. I'm John in this life, and next life I'm William or Bill or whatever you call. Next person. Some people laugh. Oh, don't laugh. You come from another form. Fortunately, you are in a good form in this life. Some people come with deformed life. Some people come with incomplete mentality. Why don't you visit some homes for children who suffer from autism, mental disorder? Groups and groups of children come here almost once every week. Some of them look pretty and handsome, tall and muscular. From a distance, they are normal. But when you talk to them, they have mental disorder. They were born like that. Why, we call it? Inequalities. It's all karma. And they are still ignorant, they don't know. They are suffering, but they don't know. They are suffering, and they also brought their parents suffering. The whole family suffered, not just them. And sometimes I think every one of us who is on the spiritual path actually have a sacred contract to do. What is that sacred, invisible, holy contract? Let's do something for the world. Change it by changing yourself first. Don't call about, I want to change the world. I want to change society. Change yourself first. You yourself is the first unit. You need to change. Change your thinking. So, what should we talk about? Right understanding. We can talk about right understanding from every perspective for a very long time. But just to summarize it. How is meditation related to right understanding. How do I get away from samsara? How do I get away from birth and rebirth? By meditation. Well, there's a lot to learn about it. When you meditate, don't you know that you're changing yourself when you meditate? You can't change. Changing your body is not difficult. Changing your mind is. We're living in the world we call the world with matter and desire. We call it the karma dhatu. People here, they know because they've been here for quite long. And when we do meditation, we arrive at this tranquility. This tranquility of mind, when you work in meditation, train your consciousness to a certain level, you have that peacefulness in you. When you have that peacefulness in you, your mental afflictions start to drop. Your greediness, your hatred, your jealousy, your temperament, your anger, it starts to calm down. And when you're going a higher and higher level in this world with matter and desire, you arrive at samadhi. What is the samadhi? The samadhi is overcoming the ego. We're living in that ego cell. We're in that prison in which the ego is surrounding you. So when you meditate, your ego is dropping. When your ego is dropping, all these mental afflictions that are affecting you, they're gradually disintegrating. According to the Theravada approach of enlightenment, there are 4 levels. The first level is the Sotapanna level. There's a Sotapanna level, Sakadagamin level, Anagamin level, and the Arahat level, 4 levels. The lowest level is the Sotapanna level. The Sotapanna level is what? They meditate, and they're dropping their view, the ego view, eliminating the ego. And finally, they are successful in eliminating all these conceptual mental afflictions. What are these conceptual mental afflictions? I tell you what they are. This conceptual self-view, extreme view, attachment to view, evil view, greediness, anger, ignorance, arrogance, and doubt. All these views, it drops. When it drops, they're changing their consciousness. But they're at the first level. If after meditating for a number of years, they arrive at this so-called the Sotapanna level of enlightenment, they got enlightened at that level, they get old. No more time to practice. They died. Everybody has to die. Take, for instance, they are at the age of 90. They are successful in eliminating all these mental afflictions, and they arrive at the Sotapanna level, and they died. The body has to go. Everybody's body has to go. This is your body, but it will die someday. When he dies, what will happen to him? He will have to reincarnate, going to the heaven, coming back to this world 7 times. And in this 7 times, there's one characteristic. He won't be in the 3 vicious realm. What are these 3 vicious realms? He won't be in the animal realm. He won't be in the ghost realm. He won't be in the infernal realm. He will be just in the human realm or heavenly realm, heavenly kingdom you call it, and maybe in some cases the Asura's realm. And we'll have to explain what Asuras are. So in other words, if you're at that Sotapanna level because you have done meditation, you're already away from the 3 vicious realms of reincarnation. And you come 7 times to this world, and then you become the Arahat. The 7 times you will always practice the Buddha's way. You will practice meditation. You see the difference? You still have to reincarnate. You are still in the samsara existence, but only generally about 7 times. And then during those 7 times, you continue. You would automatically, because you have that cost in you, practice until you reach the Arahat level. Then what's the second level? The second level is Sakadagamin. Sakadagamin level, or the first level we call it the stream enterer, the first level Sotapanna. Stream enterer is they enter into the stream of holiness. the stream of saintness. The second level, the Sakadagamin, is the once returner. So he practiced meditation, he eliminates conceptual mental afflictions and some innate mental afflictions. What are these innate? Innate mental afflictions are difficult to eliminate. They are brought forward from previous lifetime. But they still eliminate some, which is a higher level than the Sotapanna level. They call it the Sakadagamin level, or the once returner. What's the meaning of once returner? They only return to this world and suffer once more, and no more reincarnation for them. Because after one life, they continue to practice and they become the Arhat. See the difference? A higher level now. Once returner. Once return in this world. The other is 7 times. And a higher level is what? Then they go another higher level. The higher level is the Anagamin level. The Anagamin level. The Anagamin level is also called the non-returner. So in other words, he practiced meditation and he died. He's not been successful in being an Arahat. He died and he's not going to return to this world. This world is too bad for him. He will be in the Rupadhatu level, which is the higher level. The people who study Rupadhatu level, you know, they are in the celestial heavens level. In there, they practice until they become the Arahat. In heaven, in the heaven, celestial heaven. But heaven is not the final place to go. The people in heaven, they still died. But this Anagamin won't come down to this world of desires and matter. They will be in the world without desire, with matter only. And then in there, they practice until they become the Arahat. That's the third level. For the fourth level, another fourth level, that level is this man practicing meditation. And he's been practicing previous lives, probably. And he was successful in eliminating all mental afflictions, clear of them, fully liberated. The ego is all dropped, fully dropped, completely dropped. No more ego, no more desires, no more greediness, no more ignorance, no more hatred, no more anger. He was successful in doing it in one lifetime. He is the Arahat. He attained Nirvana. The Buddha did that. Buddha Sakyamuni 2,600 years ago, he was the Arahat. He was able to eliminate the ego. No more. But he still has the body. He became the Arahat at the age of 39. 30 or 39, I think it's 39. Various sayings, some 39, some say 35, and some say 41. But anyway, he became the Arahat, and he still carried the body around because the time is not ripe for him to leave the world, to pass away. So he spent another 49 years in promoting what he knows and telling people, you can get away from reincarnation. You can get away from suffering. Try this. So that's Buddhism. He's the Arahat. The Arahat has still to die out this body. Because Nirvana, the complete Nirvana has not come. He has achieved Nirvana. But the Parinirvana is when the body is gone. So when he died out this body, no more body. No more learning, no more body. No more body. This body is bad, you know. This body gets you into trouble. You don't know about it. You love this body so much. This is the target of your loving. You love your body, and some people love other bodies. That's what we call sexual misconduct. You see how people involved in loving? They love their own body and other people's body. And they think that's joyful. And they think that's a happiness. You come to study it. It's impurity. Anyway, I linger on for another 15, 20 minutes now, and it's time to go to lunch. And so I will end at this point.